Wid Yi. See that coffee you've brought in? It's just taught me a valuable life lesson. Nobody at Starbucks ever pays... Is that good coffee?
Starbucks.
Nobody...
We're not getting paid for this, by the way.
Yeah. No, we're definitely not. Nobody at Starbucks ever actually pays attention to your name.
Well, I can actually vouch for that, to be honest with you.
I love the fact, right? Dave has brought in his latte, his iced mocha choca skinny latte.
It's actually just an Americano.
Okay, sorry, it's an Americano. He's having a boring coffee.
I'm on a boring coffee because I'm trying to lose weight.
So you went into Starbucks, they asked your name, you placed your order and said,
Yes,
an Americano. And they said, right, can we have your name?
Well, might I actually add to this as well? I went into Starbucks and there wasn't another soul in the place. I mean, bearing in mind, this is Friday night, it's about 7-8 o'clock at night. Nobody wants a Starbucks.
That's because everyone's scared to not fall asleep.
Well, I was scared to fall asleep, so I needed a coffee so I can do this. But I was in there, I said, can I get an Americano? Nobody kicking about. And they said, can I take a name for the order? And I looked around and thought, am I going to get confused with somebody else here? What's the deal? You know, that's what I said.
You should have called yourself Johnny No Mates.
I actually called myself Skeletor.
And the worst of it is, this isn't even a joke.
No.
We'll have this up on our socials by the time you're listening to this. Dave genuinely ordered a coffee, called himself Skeletor.
And I have a coffee with the name Skeletor on it in my hand right now.
I think we should frame this for prosperity.
No bones about it.
Hey. I mean, if I'd been there, I'd have just been your arch nemesis. I'd have said, mine's for He-Man.
That would have been funny.
We should maybe go in, right? What else could we go into Starbucks and order coffee as? What about the Thundercats?
I know, I got a better idea. What about God and Satan? Like I'll dress up. I'll dye my beard white. I'll go in a big white robe and say, I would like a coffee. I am a mighty God. And then we'll
Does
get
the mighty God come from under the sea?
But I'm actually thinking, if you came in with like a pair of red horns, paint your face red, and just comes and goes, I would like a latte.
I think I'd get barred again.
You get are you already barred for Starbucks?
Oh, probably.
Well, tell me, why are you barred for Starbucks?
I think I barred myself.
Were you flicking beans?
Not in Starbucks.
Or were you grinding the beans?
No, definitely the first one.
So you're flicking the beans in. That's the only way you actually get barred for Starbucks. Flicking beans or grinding beans.
I mean, there's a nice irony to that. Wid Yi. You know, the horrible thing is I am never going to be able to go for a Starbucks again. You've probably done me a favour. You've probably saved me about £1 million a month.
Well, where would you go now? Because Starbucks is on every street corner. Twice.
Costa.
But that cost a lot.
Right, moving swiftly on, let's delve into the... I hope there's nothing coffee stained, that's good. Remember, if you want to submit your widget, head on to our socials. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, not calling it X.
Can't call it Twitter.
No, we're calling it Twitter, we're not calling it X, we are not giving in. You can find us on widyi.com as well. Let's do one.
Go for it.
I would absolutely love the irony if this has something to do with Starbucks or Costa. Wid Yi.
Wid Yi.
Pour hot sauce on your genitals for £160. Now, I'm going to read that again. You can digest this however you want. Would you pour hot sauce on your genitals for £160?
Well, can I just say I already have a very spicy sausage. So all it's going to do is add a little bit of flavour to my spicy sausage.
Are you going all Marks and Spencers on us here? This isn't just any sausage.
I was thinking more Fernando Martinez from Grand Theft Auto. You know, remember Fernando Martinez?
No, senor.
No, he's exactly like that. He talk about the Latin way of love, but he's actually a cheap pimp.
Like everyone in Grand Theft Auto, in fairness.
He was... He was on Laszlo's chatterbox, and he would talk about, you've got to treat the love like a brothel, and he just pimp out ladies.
The thing I love about Grand Theft Auto, and I'm going to go off on a tangent here before we come back to your widget. I love the fact that in the very first Grand Theft Auto, they got a guy in Dundee where DMA Design were based back in 1997, and he basically ripped off like a bunch of Scottish radio stations, and they had like Discovery 102 down there back in the 90s.
So I really can't remember it that well. I haven't played the original Grand Theft Auto in years.
I want to say he called it like Discovery 103 or something really cheeky, or Wave 103 or whatever. There was some kind of tangent on like the local radio station down there in the day.
Okay.
And I think it was a predominantly Scottish team. I think one of my pals' brothers or someone. Everyone in Scotland, let's be honest, knows someone who worked on Grand Theft Auto, or knows someone who worked on Grand Theft Auto.
Or knows someone who knows someone who knows someone that works in Grand Theft Auto.
I also didn't realise there's a statue of a lemming somewhere in Dundee.
Is there really?
Genuinely, yeah.
I know there's a statue of Desperate Dan.
Yeah.
And Minnie the Minx.
That's in the town centre, isn't it?
It used to be. I don't know. Is it still there?
Yeah, I think so, unless it's been nicked.
Would you nick Desperate Dan?
How much for? A cow pie?
That's a would you steal Desperate Dan for a cow pie?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, back to my hot sauce one.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask me again.
Would you pour hot sauce on your genitals for £160?
I just have. Show me the money.
Would you?
You know, I'm just looking at this one that's on the screen here. There isn't a value on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Make it a value fitting of the challenge.
Well, I'll read the challenge out and then we'll discuss how much we'll do it for, right?
Okay.
So, would you relocate to a job on the edge of the Bermuda Triangle if you were asked to?
By who?
I'm guessing your boss. If your boss said, I need you to go to the edge of the Bermuda Triangle, what am I doing for a living that makes me have to go to the Bermuda Triangle?
Detective agency.
A detective. What am I looking at? Well, I could be looking for anything in the Bermuda Triangle.
Planes, boats, people.
Could you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Any episode of Taggart, there's been a murder. Do. Right. Detective Taggart, this is how long ago I'm going. Where are you going to look for the murderer? Going to look in the Bermuda Triangle, which is about 10,000 miles away in the middle of the sea from Edinburgh. So, I don't know.
Any amount of money.
Would you relocate to the edge of the Bermuda Triangle? I mean, it'd be kind of rubbish if I was a towel salesman, would it?
You're not going to sell many towels.
You're not going to sell many towels. You're not going to sell many computer components.
Not much need for a decorator.
No. I'm trying to think what actual physical... A diver, but what are you diving for?
I guess if you were a speedboat salesman, maybe the Bermuda Triangle would be a good place to be. Think about it.
Right.
You're out there in the middle of nowhere. There's all this weird shit happening around you. You want to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Somebody there, sharply dressed, going, excuse me, sir, £10,000, I can sell you this lovely boat that definitely hasn't just been pawned off
can I
from
just
a bullseye
say, is this Jesus that's selling speedboats? Because he'd have to be if he's sharply dressed and he's walking on water.
Yeah.
Yes, hello. Would you like to buy a speedboat?
Well, maybe
I don't understand why he sounds like the tourist of London, but we'll just go with that. Would you like to buy a speedboat?
Yes, please.
At the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, maybe he's got a little flotilla or something. I don't know. I've never sold a boat in my life. Never won one for that matter either. But
I'm pretty sure Jesus has never had when he was alive, was there such a thing as a speedboat? Probably not. No.
If you were selling speedboats, if there was some weird... Bear in mind, there's going to be a weird situation that makes you relocate there in the first place, right?
It's going to be the most bizarre situation.
Yeah.
I mean...
So having a flotilla and a guy there, Jesus or otherwise, selling speedboats is not the weirdest part of that train of thought.
I'll tell you what my train of thoughts come from. I mean, would you relocate to the edge of the Bermuda Triangle? Is the Furry Triangle still a thing in Edinburgh? There used to be the only 3 strip clubs in Edinburgh were like 3 doors apart from each other. Like you had 2 at one side of the road, then you had another
one down below.
Across the road, one down below. But the fact is the 3 doors were kind of shaped like a triangle, thus the Furry Triangle.
Makes an awful lot of sense.
So technically, if they wanted me to go to the edge of Scotland's Bermuda Triangle, because let's say many men have gone missing in there in the time.
Discovered years later.
All
their worldly possessions gone.
Oh yeah, and divorce papers, all that sort of thing. It's all because of that triangle. So
definitely life-changing.
Scotland's answer to the Bermuda Triangle is the Furry Triangle in Edinburgh.
You would relocate there?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, who wants to live next to a strip club? You're going to have all sorts of crap going on. I mean, if I'm trying to play Scrabble on a Friday night with a wife and I get a hello, hey, could you give us 20 quid? I'm needing to go and get a lap dance off Sinead or something like that. No, I'm not going to go for it.
So what you're saying is you would actually rather go to the legitimate...
I'd like to the real Bermuda Triangle and get swallowed up by the water than I would live next to the Furry Triangle.
Thanks for listening. Would you do us a favour and check back again next week? And don't forget to find and like us on the socials. Wid Yi.